Ambition fills the air at our Silicon Valley office, alive with the hum of innovation. I'm just an intern, but I feel the pulse of potential beneath my fingertips, ready to leave a mark on the tech world. Yet little did I know that this path, illuminated by dreams, concealed shadows far darker than I ever imagined. One afternoon, while poring over codes in the dimly lit break room, I overheard snippets of conversation that sent shivers down my spine. "We can't let anyone find out," a voice hissed, followed by nervous laughter. Curiosity gnawed at me, pulling me into their orbit. What secrets were veiled behind polished presentations and manicured smiles? Just as I was about to dismiss the unease bubbling within, my best friend, Alex, burst through the door. "Did you hear that?" he said, urgency lacing his tone. "Something's off here. I can feel it." His eyes were wide, mirroring my own apprehension. As interns, we were told to be loyal, to uphold the company's unwavering image. But Alex and I were fueled by a burning desire for justice. The thought of complicity weighed heavy on our hearts. The next day was a different story. A sense of dread hung thickly in the conference room as I sat before my supervisor, Mark, a charismatic figure draped in confidence. "Loyalty is key, folks," he declared, flashing a smile that sent shivers down my spine. "We protect our own." Worm, I felt the tension coil around me as the air thickened with unspoken threats. My NDA stayed at the forefront of my mind. Could this piece of paper truly silence me, or would it turn out to be a shield in more ways than one? As I glanced at Alex, his determined gaze met mine, and suddenly the stakes felt far more ominous. What if speaking out was my only path to freedom and justice? Before we continue with this shocking revelation, a quick alert for you who follow our stories. YouTube has been removing subscriptions lately, so check if you're still subscribed and leave your like to support the channel. Now, back to the crucial moment. Did we have the courage to peel back the layers of deceit? Or would the fear of those in power trap us in a web of silence? The decision awaited and the clock was ticking. The next few days flew by, but time felt like syrup, thick and viscous. I couldn't shake the conversations I had overheard. Every corner of the sleek office, every polished screen, now felt like a mask hiding a rotting core. I confided in Alex during a late lunch in the bustling food court just outside the office. The aroma of street tacos and fresh burritos wafted through the air, but all I could taste was unease. "Have you thought about what we heard? This isn't just gossip," I said, my voice low, barely above the clatter of trays. "I keep thinking about protecting our own," Alex replied, tension evident in his voice. "What does that even mean? Are we theirs to protect or to silence?" We exchanged glances that hung heavy between us, threaded with the weight of our shared uncertainty. Alex's appetite vanished as he pushed his half-eaten bowl of nachos aside. "You do realize we have options, right? More options than just sitting back while we wait for someone to sweep it under the rug." I felt my heart race. The thought of taking action was exhilarating and terrifying all at once. "You mean whistleblowing? Why not? We have the NDA. We have the knowledge. We could even expose them past these borders. This isn't just a local issue, it's global," he said, his excitement igniting a flicker of hope inside me. But the gravity of his words weighed heavily on my conscience. What if they retaliated? My hands trembled slightly as I thought about the lengths they might go to protect their empire. This was all new ground, a dangerous dance. Just then, my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. A simple word flashed across the screen: "Help." Just like that, my heartbeat thundered in my ears, a warning sign that amped my paranoia and curiosity, all at once. Who needed help? And how were they connected to this web of deceit? "I think we need to investigate," I finally said, voice trembling with conviction. But carefully. We can't be reckless. As we wrapped up our lunch, I felt a surge of determination. We were venturing into darkness, armed only with ambition and the shadowy promise of the truth. And as I looked into Alex's eyes, I knew we were both ready to step out of the shadows. If only we could figure out how to take that first leap. But what awaited us in the coming days could change everything. Would we find the help we needed or dive deeper into danger? The thrilling journey had just begun, but the twists ahead were far from predictable. Stay tuned as we uncover the chilling connections lurking beneath the surface. Days passed in a haze of unease, each moment taut with the promise of revelation or encumbrance. My mind whirled as I replayed that haunting message, "Help," on my phone. Who could it be? And what did they want from us? My thoughts rattled like loose change in a dryer, beating against the walls of my consciousness. Alex and I convened in the corner coffee shop after hours, the scent of burnt espresso gnawing at my stomach. The tables were a scarred testament to countless meetings, just like ours, still harboring secrets. "We're in way over our heads here," Alex said, nervously stirring his cup. "What if this is a trap?" The flickering light from the neon sign outside painted a kaleidoscope of colors across his worried face. Or worse, what if we expose ourselves and they come after us? His fear matched my own, a quiet specter murmuring caution in the back of my mind. But that whisper was drowned out by another voice, louder and braver. What if it's someone who knows about the scandal? Someone who can lead us to the truth? Or even a plan to help us blow this wide open? I could see the embers of determination ignite in Alex's eyes. All right, we have to respond. We can't ignore this. Just as I was about to text back, my phone buzzed again. It was a new message from the same unknown number. "Meet me at the park. I have information. Trust no one." A chill ran down my spine. Every instinct screamed danger, but the prospect of uncovering the truth pulled me like an iron magnet. Would this lead us down a rabbit hole of chaos or grant us the clarity we so desperately sought? "Something's happening, and we can't back down now," I said, my voice a whisper carried by urgency. "Then we'll go together," Alex asserted. The thrill of stepping into the unknown entwined with fear as we prepared to leave the comfort of our world. As we approached the park, darkness loomed overhead, cloaking everything as if the night itself held its breath. A soft rustle beckoned us deeper into the shadows. Would this be the turning point we needed, or an irretrievable descent into something far more sinister? The answers awaited us, cloaked in the veil of danger. Stay close as we unveil what lies beneath the surface. Treachery intertwining with unexpected alliances in our next chapter. The park was drenched in the soft glow of streetlights, their light flickering like fireflies caught in the breeze. As Alex and I stepped onto the gravel path, the crunch beneath our feet sounded louder than a heartbeat. Every shadow felt like it could spring forth with secrets we weren't prepared to face. "Are you sure about this?" Alex whispered, glancing around anxiously. The ambiance was tense, amplified by the anticipation that charged the atmosphere. My heart raced in response to his question. "We have to know who sent that message and what they know," I replied, attempting to inject a sense of resolve into my voice. We reached the designated meeting spot, an old wooden bench nestled beneath the branches of a sprawling oak tree. The heavy canopy cast ominous shapes against the soft moonlight. I nervously scanned the area, half expecting someone to jump out at us. "Keep your eyes peeled," I murmured, feeling a sense of foreboding creep into the edges of my thoughts. "If we're being watched." Before I could finish my sentence, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was a woman, wearing a hooded jacket with the collar pulled up against the night chill. "You're here," she said, her voice low and urgent. My gut twisted. She looked familiar, but I couldn't quite place her. "You texted me?" I asked, my voice steady, but my heart hammered loudly in my chest. "Yes," she replied, her eyes darting around nervously. "I don't have much time. My name is Lisa. I used to work at the company." The realization hit me like a bolt of lightning. Lisa was a former intern who had left abruptly last year, her exit shrouded in whispers of scandal. "What do you know?" I pressed, leaning forward. "Everything. And none of it is good," she said, glancing back toward the park's entrance as if the shadows themselves were listening. "They've been involved in a lot of shady dealings. Fraud, cover-ups, you name it. They think that NDA can keep everyone quiet, but it's more complex than that." A wave of realization washed over me. "What do you mean?" "Think about it. While the NDA restricts you from talking about what you know, it also gives you leverage," she replied, her eyes bright with the thrill of revelation. "You can easily take them to court if you choose to, and in different countries at that." "But," I faltered, grappling with the implications of what she was saying. "What if they go after us? They have influence, connections." "They might," she admitted. "But if you expose them, you could be surprised at the alliances you could forge. People would rally behind you. It's your shot at dismantling their empire." The possibilities felt intoxicating, swirling in my mind like a bright vortex of potential outcomes. "What do we do?" I asked, emboldened by the barely glimpsed light of hope. "Gather evidence, find others who feel the same way, but tread carefully." "They are not going to let go without a fight," Lisa warned, stepping closer as the breeze rustled the leaves above us. Just then, the sound of footsteps broke through our conversation, and I struggled to maintain my composure as a tall figure stepped into view. It was Mark, my supervisor, flanked by another employee, a burly security guard. "Thought I'd find you here," Mark said, his voice smooth yet laced with latent menace. "You two have been quite the busy bees." "Mark, what are you doing here?" I asked, my heart sinking as reality crashed down around me. He chuckled, a sound devoid of warmth. "Oh, just checking in on my talented interns. Can't have you two stirring up trouble now, can we? You know how the board is about loyalty." In that moment, I realized that the predator was closing in on its prey, and we were dangerously exposed. "Let's go," he ordered, motioning to the guard, who advanced into our personal space. "Wait," Lisa blurted out. "You can't stop us from talking." Mark's smile was chilling, a stark reminder of the power he wielded. "Trust me, you don't want to make this a bigger deal than it is. Not unless you want to deal with the consequences." I felt the heat rising in my chest, and the determination to fight flared within me. "You're threatening us?" I demanded, my voice cracking under the strain of fear and indignation. "Consider it a friendly warning." Mark's tone turned icy. "You'll want to remember who's in charge here." With that, he gestured for the guard to step back, as if to say their presence alone was enough to intimidate us into submission. We watched as they turned to leave, but I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being followed, watched from afar. "What now?" Alex whispered, anxiety swirling in his voice. "Now we go underground," I said, trying to maintain my composure. "We need to gather a team, get evidence. They can try to intimidate us, but they won't succeed." As we hurried out of the park, the adrenaline surged through my veins, pushing me toward a new resolve. Whatever stake they had in silence would crumble beneath the weight of the truth. But uncertainty still lingered in the air, a shadow that wouldn't easily fade. "We have to watch our backs," I said nervously. "I wish we knew who else could help us," Alex murmured, his gaze darting around us. "Who says we have to go it alone?" I suggested, a plan bubbling in my mind. "We need to connect with others impacted by this company. There are more stories waiting to be told. As we forged our way back into the heart of Silicon Valley, I felt a thrill of empowerment surge within me. This was no longer just about unearthing the truth. It was about creating a movement, pulling in others to join our fight. We would be the voices that refused to be silenced. But the clock was ticking. Time was against us, and in this high-stakes game, the more we uncovered, the tighter the noose would become. Would allies emerge from the shadows, or would we find ourselves further isolated in our quest for justice? The answers awaited us beyond the bending branches of deceit. Stay close, for the final chapter lies just over the horizon, a culmination of hidden truths and brave confrontations, where the stakes may well determine our fates. Will we step out of the shadows together? Or will we be drawn deeper into the abyss? The atmosphere thickened with tension as I stood there, the reality of what we faced pressing in like a vice. Alex and I exchanged a look, and I could see the uncertainty swimming in his eyes. Just as the weight of our predicament threatened to swallow us whole, Lisa stepped forward, her voice steady but urgent. You can't let them intimidate you. This is exactly what they want. I nodded, her words igniting the fire of determination inside me. We're not backing down. We have to fight. Then let's regroup and build a network, Lisa said, her expression fierce. I know others who've been wronged. We can put together a coalition, a team that can withstand their threats. Each word she spoke reinforced my resolve, and I could feel Alex's support behind me. Yes, but carefully, I cautioned, knowing just how powerful their reach was. We can't afford to make our moves recklessly. Understanding that is just as crucial as our mission, Lisa agreed. The information we gather will be our shield. As we left the park, concern tinged every step I took. Would our plan work? I could feel the shadows of doubt lurking behind every corner, but I pushed them away, focusing instead on the mission that lay ahead. We needed to uncover the truth and protect ourselves from the looming threat of Mark and his cohorts. In the days that followed, we formed a small yet determined group. Former interns, disgruntled employees, and anyone willing to speak out gathered under our banner. Our meetings were held late at night, in back rooms of cafes and dimly lit houses, far from prying eyes. Each individual brought their own piece of the puzzle: information, stories, experiences, and most importantly, hope for a brighter future. Every time I unlocked my phone, my heart raced with anticipation. Would today be the day we received a breakthrough? Would someone come forward with a damning piece of evidence that crackled like electricity? And then, one evening, everything changed. My contacts buzzed with excitement when I received a message from someone at corporate, a whistleblower, wanting to provide missing pieces of the story. My pulse quickened as I read their words. Meet me at the diner on Main Street. I can't take this any longer. I shared the message with Alex and Lisa, who felt that same spark of adrenaline. Under the pretense of being regular patrons, we dashed to the diner, the familiar neon lights welcoming us like a beacon of hope. As we settled into a booth, I scanned our surroundings, our table nestled in the far corner. Stay alert, I whispered, the thrill of possibility tainted by wariness. Moments felt like hours until I spotted our contact, a nervous woman in a blazer, scanning the room anxiously before she spotted us and approached. You made it, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. I have something that can help you, something they're trying to bury. What do you know? I pressed, leaning forward. They've been tampering with financial records, she revealed, her hands trembling as she slid encrypted documents across the table. It's huge. This isn't just about you. This goes all the way up to the board. Panic mingled with exhilaration as I absorbed her words. This could change everything. Yes, but you must act fast, she warned, her eyes darting. They know I'm here. We don't have much time. That urgency pumped through my veins as we devised our next steps. We would take this evidence and leverage it against the company, forcing them to reckon with the consequences of their deceit. We wouldn't be silenced any longer. But just as we began to rise from our seats, the door swung open, and I froze. Mark entered, flanked by a couple of his colleagues, their eyes locked onto us. The color drained from my face as I gestured to the others to stay quiet, to maintain our cover. "Looks like we found you all. Not too far from home," Mark said, his smirk chilling the air around us. In that moment, clarity washed over me. It was time to put everything we had on the line. "We know what you're doing," I said, finding the strength I didn't realize I had. "You can't keep this hidden forever." Surprise flickered in his eyes, and for the first time I felt a glimmer of power shift in my direction. "Is that so?" When the words left my mouth, I realized it was no longer just my fight. It was ours. With the documents in hand and the support of my newfound allies, I felt prepared to step into the light. We would not let fear dictate our actions any longer. Together, we would expose the truth. And as I walked out from that diner, I could feel the walls of deceit crumbling around us. I took a deep breath, knowing that no matter what happened next, regardless of the retaliation we might face, this was our moment to rise. As we rallied the courage to fight for justice, I couldn't help but feel that our story was just beginning. If you've enjoyed this journey into resilience, camaraderie, and truth, don't forget to subscribe for more stories like mine. Together, we can bring more hidden tales into the light. Stay brave and stand up for what's right.